When I was thinking of the name for my second level handgun skills course, I eventually settled on fundamentals of handgun shooting, which seems pretty straightforward to me, but I knew it'd be a problem because anytime someone hears the word fundamentals, they think, oh, basics. Well, that's just a basic class, and I'm better than that. I don't need another basic class. I thought about doing what a guy back east does, or out east. We're in Nebraska, everybody's out relative to us. Someone out east has this exact same sort of class, one working on the fundamentals of shooting, but he was really blunt about what he called it. The name for his class is, Your Gun Doesn't Suck, You Do. Most people have very bad fundamentals. They don't know it because you can still be a decent shooter with bad fundamentals, but you're never going to get any better either. And chances are you won't know why. Because most people, even though they've learned about the fundamentals, don't actually practice the fundamentals and don't realize it when they're not using good fundamentals. Most people are not good at self-analysis. And unless you have someone videotaping you and then you watch it back in slow motion and actually critically look at how you're shooting, you probably have no idea what you're doing. Now, even though I've said all that, many people still in the back of their head have this little voice saying, well, but that's basics. You know, I know the basics. Okay, answer me this simple question. What do you look like when you shoot? What do you look like? Now, a lot of people go, well, I look like everyone else. I just sit and shoot. Okay, if you don't know what you look like when you shoot, I can almost guarantee your fundamentals have a lot of room for improvement. Let's talk about something simple. One of the basic fundamentals has to do with stance. How are you standing? How are you holding yourself when you're actually shooting? There's a whole bunch of ways to do this, and what is optimal really depends on what you're trying to do. For example, it is definitely possible to shoot a target with good accuracy even if you are shooting with your weak hand, turned sideways, on one foot, and that weak hand having the elbow out so the gun is completely sideways. You can still hit a target that way. Is this optimal? Not even remotely. Now, I don't expect that most people are shooting that way, but here's a question. When you shoot, what do you look like? Do you look like this? A lot of people do. Are you aggressive towards it? Okay. Do you shoot like this? Do you shoot like this? Do you shoot like this? How do you shoot? What do you look like when you shoot? I've seen people shoot every single one of those ways I've just demonstrated. And one can be an adequate shooter with any one of those methods. However, it is certainly true that out of all those methods, one of them is much more optimal, because how we stand and how we hold ourselves when we shoot is incredibly important. Okay? Not necessarily for the first shot. Okay? You can do bullseye, as was demonstrated. You know, standing on one foot, turned sideways, etc. You can hit what you need to once. On the other hand, the shooting platform I have, I want it such that when I'm shooting, after my first shot, my stance, my platform that I'm shooting from helps me gain recoil control to put the second shot in the exact same spot as soon as possible. I want the stance and positioning in the platform such that I can transition from one target to another as fast as possible. I want the stance and position such that after those multiple shots and transitioning, I can then move from one place to another as fast as possible. So what do you look like when you shoot? Do you know? If you don't, you should take a fundamentals class. And that's an example only of one of the main sets of fundamentals that we can analyze and fix for you. People are not good at looking at themselves. People are not good at analysis. How many of you have actually videotaped yourself shooting, went back, looked at it in slow motion and said, oh, okay, there's what I'm doing on my draw, I need to fix that. There's what I'm doing with my stance, I need to fix that. Oh my gosh, look at when I do it in slow motion, you can see me jerking the trigger because you can see the muzzle bounce before it fires and so on. Is your movement smooth? Are your transitions good? If you haven't done that, how do you know what your fundamentals are like? I just wanted to make it clear here that when I say that you should take a fundamentals class, I mean all of you, everyone. And when I say everyone, I include myself also. Matter of fact, I do still take fundamentals courses. Take a fundamentals class. It'll make a difference to your shooting.